All right. Happy Tuesday afternoon, everyone. I know I just kind of popped in on you on live. I didn't even announce this one. So if you're catching the replay, I'm sorry, but I'll be back tomorrow at the same time at 6:30. So I hope to see you on. But I wanted to come on this evening, share with you a little bit, and talk about something that I think many of us can relate to. The topic this evening is I didn't know the value of what I had. I didn't know the value of what I knew. And I think maybe you're there. Maybe you are questioning the value of what you know. You're questioning the value of the skills, the abilities that you have. So, this right here is for you as you're jumping on. If you're watching this live, just say something in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you're watching this from. And as you're getting value from this, if this starts to hit you and you know there's somebody that should be watching this, go ahead and share it as well. Welcome, welcome. We are live, and I'm excited that I'm not by myself this evening. I'm actually here with my good friend and brother, Gamal Alexander. I'm going to bring Gamal up now. Let me unmute him because I had him muted. I'll bring him up. What's up, Renee?
All right.
Buffalo, New York in the house. Awesome, awesome. Gamal, welcome.
Hey. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's always a pleasure. I get to watch these. Now I'm on one.
Yeah,
Mama,
man.
I
Yeah,
made
yeah.
it. I made it, Mama. I made it.
Listen, I'll tell you this. I always appreciate when I am on live that you are in the comments, you're sharing, and I appreciate you for that. And I'm glad to be able to have you on. Renee, thank you so much. She said two of my favorite peeps. Lovna is on. Awesome. Good to have you on, Lovna.
Governor.
Awesome. Gamal. Wow.
Sir.
Uh, if we took time to talk about how long we've known each other and just our
Yeah.
stories, we'd be here all day, but we don't have all day. But I wanted to kind of zero in on something in particular. So, for those who don't know, Gamal is by training and by experience a minister. He's a speaker and an author. An author of how many books now, Gamal? Published books, right?
Okay, well, so you asked me the question, I lose count. At last count, 4.
Yeah, 4. That's right.
Let's
4
count
books.
four published books. That is
Yeah, awesome. And it's so interesting just watching your journey of the first one. I remember the first one came out, the ebook, and then
Yeah,
I felt like 2 books came out at the same time, which they
they
actually
did.
did. And then I believe one that has been so helpful is all of them have been great. I've used your devotional books, Grace and Faith, but then I've seen there's one that has helped a lot of different ministers on preaching. So there's a book that you have to help people on preaching. But what is so interesting, even though I introduced you as a minister and I talked about your book on preaching, one of the things that we have seen as we've worked together and I've watched you is that I've seen you now take the things that you've helped me, other pastors, other ministers, and you're now helping other people. So I just want to kind of explore that a little bit. You're helping people who are coaches. I want to explore that a little bit. Just kind of talk to me first of all about your first steps in taking your knowledge and your expertise and moving out and begin monetizing them. Just talk about that a little bit.
Well, let's begin at the beginning.
Yeah.
I had to first come to the realization that I had some knowledge and expertise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was not easy because of necessity, people put you in a box.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they understand other people. That's how they understand the world. And so when they see you, when they see me, they put us in a box, and usually it's the last box they saw us in. Good. The last box most people have seen me in is the preacher box.
Yeah.
Because they've either seen me online or I've ministered at a church or some function. So the question for them just happened to be the same question I had for myself. When they see me, they put you in a box and they ask, "What else can you do?" Mm-hmm. And of course, then the answer is nothing. And when I looked into the mirror, I was faced with the same question: what else can I do? And once upon a time, that answer was nothing, because because of our training, because of our expertise, because of our exposure, and because of what other people have assigned to us, we limit ourselves to that box. And the first thing I had to do was get out of that box, and you helped me.
Mhm.
You help me get out of the box, not because there's anything wrong with my profession, with my calling, with my assignment. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being identified with one thing. But suppose your calling is more.
Yeah.
Suppose your assignment is bigger. Suppose you can help more people in different walks of life. Then what? And if you lean into the idea that you can expand the sphere of influence, that you can reach more people, that you can help more people do more things with the skills that you have, well, then it calls you out of the box into another realm.
That's so
And
good.
that's where I am.
Come on, that is so good. And I think and those of you who are watching this, man, if this is jiving with you, just go ahead and drop something in the comments. Just drop just a question, a comment, just yes, your reaction on that. As you said that, I know we talked about your story. And so as a
Yes.
minister, people put you in a box, he can preach, right? You can
That's
do
it.
that. But think about how many people with a job, no matter whatever that job is, they've been put in a box and they've allowed themselves to be put in that box as well. So I think what you're saying here resonates with a lot of people. And even if I have a business and I'm doing a thing in that business, I may have put myself in a box of the
Absolutely.
thing that I'm doing and not realizing there are a lot of opportunities out there beyond what I'm doing to expand and to reach more people. So I appreciate you saying that. So as you said that you had to like come out of that, what
Yes.
are some of the things, how, like what are some of the first steps you took? And just even, okay, I'm stepping out of this box, I'm doing something outside of this
Mhm.
box. What was the reaction? Like how did it go? Like because it's always a little bit scary when we do something out of
Absolutely.
that comfort zone, right?
So you mentioned the root word comfort.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stay right there because the reaction to me stepping out of the box was discomfort.
Mm,
Okay? So it's discomfort for me because the one thing I was doing was the one thing I always known.
mhm,
And that's the one thing I was most comfortable doing. It's one thing I was most identified with doing. And so not only was it uncomfortable for me, but it was uncomfortable for the people around me.
mhm.
Because what are you doing? It's different. And it, I'm not quite sure. And of course, psychology tells us if our beliefs are challenged, then we react as if our sense of self is
Mm,
challenged.
mhm.
And so, if my belief about you is challenged because you're no longer the thing that I thought you to be, then I can take it as a personal affront. There is something about me at my core that gets challenged because I have to see you differently. So I had
Wow.
to deal with both. I had to deal with my discomfort and the discomfort of those around me. Am I just an X or am I more?
Right.
And it was coaching, and it was the exposure that came from the results of coaching that forced me to identify myself as something else and allow others to identify me as something else.
So good. That's so good. So Gamal, you started, and we can start. That's even getting people some specificity on some of the
Yeah,
things you do.
let's
So
do it.
talk about what do you do now? For maybe there's someone watching this who knows. Wait a minute, Gamal's out of the box. He's not just preaching.
Right. What
Talk,
are you talking
talk.
about?
What are you doing? What do you do? What do you do for people? And here's what's crazy, right? After you say it, I'm going to show. We're going to talk about how that ties to what you were doing all along, right? So what
Exactly.
do you do now?
Exactly.
What do you do?
So I had to figure out, what do I really do?
Yeah.
Okay, what do I really do? Now, on the surface, what I did was sermonize. The 10-penny scientific word for it is homiletics. That was my
Mhm.
passion. That's my trade. Preaching. Okay, so
Yeah.
the construction and delivery of sermons. But at its core, that's communication. It's the
Mhm.
organization of thoughts and the delivery of those thoughts clearly. Okay, so the organization of thoughts and ideas and the delivery of those thoughts and ideas clearly. So, what do? I really organize and deliver clear thoughts and ideas.
Yeah.
Well, if once I drill down to what I really do, then I started thinking, well, who else can I do it for?
There we go. There we
Because
go.
there are other people who have thoughts and ideas who need to develop them and express them clearly. Those thoughts and ideas may not come from the Bible, but it doesn't make them any less impactful. It doesn't make them any less important. There are businesses and brands that also need their thoughts and ideas clearly developed and clearly disseminated. And so why not help brands and communicators as a consultant to develop and deliver their thoughts and ideas clearly? Why not help them say it better now?
Yeah, there we go.
What I do,
Put that in there. Put that in there.
Help brands and entrepreneurs develop their and deliver their thoughts and ideas clearly as a brand and communications consultant.
There we go.
Now that seems to cover a lot of ground, but it covers the same ground I've always covered.
There we go.
Because it allows me to teach them how to tell stories. And I've been telling stories all my adult life.
I think you were telling stories before your adult life.
Before I came out the womb, I've been telling stories, right? But not only do we tell stories orally, but every good preacher knows they've got to write the manuscript before they deliver it. And so I've been telling stories using words, using the written word for as long as I can remember. Well, why? I've had to organize my writing, make it clear and simple. I've had to organize my speaking, make it clear and simple, and I had to make all of that persuasive. Well, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, they do this all the time. They call it copywriting.
Yeah.
They call it presentations.
Mm-hmm.
They call it frameworks.
Mm-hmm.
But really, they're just trying to organize and develop their ideas clearly and present them persuasively and fluidly. And so I've managed to take what I really do and help some of the people who really need it.
There we go. Listen, Lovner said this, and I had to put this on the screen. She says, Gamal is brilliant. His skill set is tricky because it seems like he's just a smart weirdo.
I love
weirdo. But he's actually skillful with words and communicating, which is an entire booming billion-dollar industry, which I think Lovner brings up a great point, right? And we're using you as an example, but someone watching this, take Gamal out of this, put yourself in here. You do something and you may not see the value of that skill set, but that skill set has value in the world. And there are people who are needing the knowledge, the expertise that you have. And just like Gamal was able to clearly say what he does and who he's doing it for, he's had to now package it into a word that I'm going to say here that I've probably said 100 times in the last month. But it's an important word, and that word is offers. Gamal, talk about the fact that you had to put it out there as offers for people to be able to buy. Talk about the importance of that.
So my journey has followed a process that your viewers, your listeners should be familiar with by now. All right. So in working with you, in talking with you, you've helped me to discover.
Here we go.
And you probably know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
What do I really do? You say you're just X, but let's see if we can't get down to the root of what X is and discover what you have. So now we develop it because you're used to using that skill set in your arena. Does it need a little additional polishing? Does it need a little additional filling out in order to present it to the wider world? And now you create an offer in order to deploy.
Yeah.
Because who knows what you do and how it can solve their problem unless you tell them. Yeah. And so rather than, and I started deploying it the only way I knew how, which was finding people one at a time and trying to help them clarify their message.
Mhm.
But because there's so many messages and so many messengers and only 24 hours in a day, now I have to deploy it differently.
Yeah.
So that now I'm moving toward helping groups of
Yeah.
people define their brands and organize their ideas and communicate them effectively. So the journey continues. But the principles are still the same. We discover, develop, and deploy, and we're getting it out there.
Come on, listen. I first of all want to say I am so proud of the work that you are doing, the work that you have done with the skills that you have. I've been a recipient. Thank you, Doria. I've been a recipient of your skill set. You've blessed me. Many a Friday night and a Saturday morning. But I think just more than that, right? You just said it, discover, develop, deploy. It is in conversation with you that we help to come up with that. That's why we work together in some of the programs that I offer, because you have a way with words. And anyone who knows Gamal, he has a way with words. He helps you to say it better. And so I'm excited about the work that you're doing. I'm excited about the opportunities that we have to work together. And one of the things that you've been helping me with is this 1 week, well, actually 3-day create your offer challenge.
Mhm.
You had a chance. We've worked with it. You were part of it. Kind of just talk about that create your offer challenge. And by the way, thank you, Doriel. I appreciate you being on. I remember when I was first going live, Doriel helped me with just getting courage and just pushing the live button and watching her do it. Doriel was so consistent with that, and I admire your consistency. And Neil Robinson says the 3Ds. That's one thing. When you help people say it better, you can't forget it. Wake me up 2 o'clock in the morning. I got it.
That message becomes memorable. It becomes portable. It becomes all the things we need a message to be. Right. And so one of the ways you get a message like that is through a challenge like this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We all have good ideas swimming around in our heads. Problem is, you don't have all of the tools you need to make that good idea come to life. Let's say you wanted bread tonight. You may have the vision for bread. You may have the ability to make bread, but you're going to need an oven. That's a tool. You're going to need flour. You're going to need water. You're going to need some of the tools you have, some of the tools you need to add. And the Create Your Offer Challenge is amazing because it helps you discover the tools you have. We're going to point you to the oven. We're going to point you to the refrigerator. We're going to point you to some of the ingredients that you have in the cabinet. But then we're going to add some of the tools that you may not have.
Oh, good.
Now, the fact that you didn't have baking soda doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't make you unintelligent. It doesn't make you any less than. It just makes you human. Because who's supposed to have all the ingredients for everything in the house at all times?
Yeah.
Right? And so you go to the store and you get the baking soda and you get the all-purpose flour and you get the sugar, you get whatever else is going to make that bread good. And then we come together and we use the machinery, the system, in order to process that mixture and make it editable, make it palatable to the world. And that's what this Create Your Offer Challenge is doing for our ideas. We're going to help you discover the machinery you have. We're going to help you discover the ingredients that are already lying dormant in your life. And then these coaches are going to add some stuff that you might not have, or it might add some stuff that you might not have thought of, because maybe you've been baking bread without butter for a long time. Right? And so one of the coaches is going to add a little butter. They might add some vanilla extract, because whoever thought that needs to go in bread, right? And so with the ingredients combined with the system, that coaching system, we're going to mix it all together. We're going to make sure that because we've baked bread before and because you've got a room full of people tasting it, we're going to make sure that this bread is not only edible, but by the time you share this bread, your product with the world, it's going to be delicious.
Man.
And people are going to want to buy it.
Listen, Gamal, I'm never talking about create your offer challenge without talking about bread. That's it. That's it. Doriel said, I'm gonna have to borrow that one, and I'll give this brother the credit. Preach on preacher. Ian says yes. Neil's here. Fact. So listen, Gamal, you already mentioned it. I'm gonna throw the graphic up here for those who are visual folks. The next challenge actually starts on Monday, February the 28th. February the 28th. It goes to March the 2nd. So it's on Monday and it runs until next week, Tuesday. And it's 2 hours each day if you're VIP. And in those 2 hours, we're going to work with you to help you, as Gamal said, discover, develop, and deploy. So if you have not signed up yet, somebody do me a favor and just put in the chat, createyourofferchallenge.com. Just go ahead and put it in the chat so that someone watching this can click it, createyourofferchallenge.com. Go ahead and register. We had a wonderful group of people who went through the last time. And if you go on the page, you'll see some of their testimonials. We had a great group and some offers that are going to change a lot of lives, including the people who are making those offers. It's going to change their lives. It's going to increase their income and their impact. And I want to do the same. We want to do the same for you. So make sure you go to that link. Thank you, Darian. CreateYourOfferChallenge.com. And Gamal and I actually have to hop off of here because we are working with some folks doing some of the same things we just talked about.
That's right.
And we're helping them to say it better now. Say it better.
That's it.
Gamal, listen, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Working with you. I love the stuff that you're doing. And those of you who are interested, if you're thinking about joining the challenge, don't delay. Really, I'm serious. Don't delay. Because with the stuff that you have, you don't really know the power of this thing until you put it out there into the world. And this challenge will help you to do just that.
Gamal's got good bread sitting in your kitchen.
Yeah.
We want to help you get it out.
Thank you. Hey, listen, I couldn't have said it any better. Gamal, thank you, man. God's blessings on you as you continue to build your business and help us all to say it better. And we're going to jump off here. Go work with some folks to do just that. And I'll see these wonderful folks watching this who are going to share it as well. We'll see y'all in the challenge. Oh, Robert Kennedy. I can't just jump up. Robert Kennedy, what's up, man? Good to see you on here. Good to see you on here. RK3. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So those of you who are just jumping on, check this replay. But register. The challenge starts on Monday. And we cannot wait to work with you in there.